Hi, M1s. So these are my detailed instructions on how to complete the Summative Part 4 for your landscape silhouette painting. This is going to focus on the elements, the principles, and your self-reflection. So just like the demo slides in blue, you'll need to identify which elements and principles of art and design you used in your final painting. Be as specific as you can. Also note that not all of the elements and principles may have been used, so some of them you will not have to ID. Just ID it if you recognize that you used it in your painting. In the self-reflection, you have 3 sentence starters to prompt your reflection. Please give thoughtful responses, maybe 2 to 4 sentences for each. Like the example I said in class, please don't just say that my favorite part of this unit was the painting because I like painting. I want you to give a little bit deeper, thought-provoking responses and explain why you liked the painting. Was it the mixing of the colors, or was it the learning about new brush techniques? Or be specific, please. So let's get into this one a little bit. These are the elements of art. I have this slide here with a little some key terms associated with each. I still have the Vietnamese translations on here, so just ignore that. Your slide should look something like this. You'll have a picture of your final painting over on the left with arrows pointing out where these elements are evident in your work. Please be specific, like I said. Don't just point to a building and say this is a shape. I want you to point and say these are geometric shapes. They're squares or rectangles or circles or whatever. If you're using colors, don't just simply say, oh, I have cool colors in my painting. Talk about as many specific color combinations in terms that we used as possible, like analogous colors, like their neighbors, complementary colors that are opposites. Talk about the value of colors if you want. You can talk about value down here. Space is going to be big in this. And maybe you have some lines, or talk about positive and negative space as well as real space. As many detailed elements as you can ID, and I've listed them over here for your reference, so you don't have to go back to that slide. And your picture of your painting will go here. Using arrows and circling things to be specific really helps. So I know that you understand what these elements are and how you use them. Same thing with the principles. I have them listed here. These should be in your e-portfolio already, but you're copying them in again as well, obviously. You don't have to identify all of the principles because you probably didn't use all of them, but I do want you to identify at least 3. The ones you've probably used are emphasis, proportion, and contrast, but there might be some others. You might have used pattern, rhythm. Identify as many as you can. Your slide will look like this. Use arrows like this one. I've listed all the principles here except unity, because unity is kind of an easy one to identify. You just say like, the painting's finished. Strong sense of unity. So we'll skip unity, but pick at least 3 of these. And again, emphasis, proportion. You might have some kind of movement if it looks like, Godzilla is breathing lightning bolts or something. You might have some kind of rhythm if you have like some water with waves in it, for example. Patterns, maybe the lights or the windows on a building might show a pattern, giving some good hints. Contrast will be big, and you might have some kind of balance. If, for example, you have a building that has some towers on the left side that look the same as the towers on the right side, maybe there's some symmetric balance. Or maybe you have a Ferris wheel that has some kind of radial balance. Man, giving lots of good hints here. So talk about at least 3 and be specific about how you use them, and maybe circle or arrow them where they are in your work. And then there's a self-reflection. I want you to talk about your favorite part of this unit, one thing you changed from your rough draft sketch to your final painting, some artistic choices that you made along the way, modifications. And if you could do this project again, one thing that you would do differently is maybe something you wished you hadn't done, or something you wished you'd added to your final painting. Explain that in a few sentences. And again, use my sentence starters if you like, or use your own words if you want. And please let me know if you have any questions about any of this. Okay.